the April 2014 statistical rebasing exercise, Nigeria became Africa's largest economy with a 2013 GDP of about $502 billion. Oil has been the major source of government revenues from the 1970s to date. A new government is now in place, led by President Muhammadu Buhari. The government is focusing on diversifying the revenue base of oil, whose prices have fallen below $28 per barrel. What then are the best strategies that will insulate the economy from drifting into a recession, making it more vibrant, strong, and robust? The Diaspora has got experts for your delight. We also have our Diasporan of the Week, news, and your mails. Welcome to the Diaspora. I am Gabriel Odu. Let's begin this way. It is said that you cannot keep doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. So, you got to think out of the box. Let's meet Professor Michael Umeadi from Jarvis Christian College, Hawkins, Texas, United States.
For you to get an economy as good as ours into a more formidable angle, we need to begin to think about changing the behavior of our people. You see, this is the behavior of our people they are changing. That is what you call corruption. This will filter not only to those corruptive practices, but also to the public. What they do, how they do it. The behavior change must be correct. The behavior change must be articulated. And that is what the president is doing on the area of corruption, on the area of those. For example, if you read the newspaper today, they are telling us that 55 Nigerians stole 1.3 trillion naira. That is an absurd. That is something you cannot understand. Stealing 1.3 trillion and has nothing to show for it in the economy, in our economy. That is mind-boggling. So if you begin to go forward, you see you need really to change the behavior of the people. And that's what the president is doing. It's not an easy endeavor, but we have to cooperate with him. Everybody has to come and begin to say, oh, let's change the behavior of our people in order to be able to do what? To achieve more sustainable growth.
How do you change the behavior?
Very simple.
Right.
You see, most of our people tend to be in the box. We have Nigerians that are very intelligent. But all what we need is to be out of the box. For example, if you go to North Carolina, United States of America now, you see some counties which we call local government. They keep chasing funds. How do they chase funds? They get funds out of correction. One way they get funds is by correcting behavior. If you park in a meter and you overpark in the meter, they give you a bill to pay. You see, right. They change that behavior. That next time when you come, you're not going to park in a meter and then allow the meter to expire and don't pay more money. You see, they change your behavior in that route. So the same thing in America, in Nigeria. If we want to have a growing system, a system that is compatible to economic growth, system where people will behave properly, we need to begin to assess those processes. For example, you see some people, they see traffic light here in Nigeria, they beat it. I was coming now, I saw somebody, he beat the traffic light. Now should assess 50,000 naira from him, minimum. Tomorrow he's not going to do it again. Right. And that will also galvanize people being employed into that system. So we have to change not only corruptive behaviors that are endemic to our people, but also behavior, normal lifetime behavior. That is why I think they should be able again to introduce the war against indiscipline, maybe in a sustainable fashion. And I know the president will think about that. I know they are going towards it. And begin also to introduce, articulate to the youths about the need to be nice, which means the National Orientation Agency has a lot of work to do. It's not going to be business as usual. Because if you see it today, the work the president is doing in terms of trying to get the base economy going, that is trying to see how he can plug the holes and make people see that corruption can destroy the economy, is not being welcomed all through the country. People are fighting him. So people that believe in business as usual, we cannot go for business as usual anymore. So it is our responsibility today for you, me, the media, whoever, to come and state the obvious so that we can give a pile for our children. Because the thing those guys, according to the newspaper, the 55 people took 1.3 trillion naira, what they didn't know is they thought they love their children. They don't love their children because they have nothing to show for it in the country where their children live.
Where is the money going to?
No, usually when they take money, they take it overseas. They buy houses overseas. They don't even have houses around Nigeria, but they buy houses overseas. Leave the houses and come back to Nigeria, pay taxes to their government over there.
That's around nonsense.
That is around nonsense. That's what I'm trying to say. So if they are going to use this money to invest in local economy, nobody will be talking to them. But what they do is when they get this money, they move away with this money and shortpay their own country. And think because they go there, buy good shoes, buy good cars, their kids are riding good cars, they think it's good. They are not setting a future for their children. Not even for my own children, or for your own children, or for the children of Nigerians who are here. Okay? So we need to think about, number one, to think about what? Change behavior process. We have to change the behavior. Because if we don't change the behavior, it's not going to give us that egalitarian move to begin to get the economy rolling. Two, we have to retool the economy too.
How do we?
Good. We have to begin to think about strategically employing our cash, our money. For example, there is no way today you can get an economy with industrial background without power. We cannot be doing things today power, tomorrow agriculture, next tomorrow that. We have to go step by step to getting these things done. One, we can decide in 2 years we'll have power. We got to do everything about power. In between the line, we can say power agriculture because our people need to feed.
Right.
Okay? We can say power agriculture, mining. In agriculture, we will be producing both local source domestic investors to come for external export agriculture, and also produce agriculture that will be an agro-based industrial for industrial needs. For example, like tomato. If you watch tomato, when during the tomato season you see in abundance. As soon as tomato season is gone, you see people, all those farmers start losing money. But if we have an agro-based industry that can go into, say, tomato puree, you know, they will use the tomato.
Right.
And you cannot have an agro-based industry that will go into tomato puree if you don't have power. So you will need, first of all, to think about power if you want to have an industrial base. Because we have a lot of talented and intelligent people here who want to use their hands to do something. But power is the problem. So we must decide. In Soviet, when there was Soviet Union, after the World War, the first thing they did was to do what? Power. Any country, even the United States of America, power. If you don't have power, you are not set for industrial development. And if we are not set for industrial development, we are not going to be able to say, okay, let's diversify in things that we want. We will still be relying on commodity prices, oil prices, mining, all those metal prices, which could take a turn. But if we begin to produce and still have all those things, we will be in a better shape to plan our economy and move forward. So it is very important we begin to think about taking our priorities step by step.
Prioritize and put more emphasis on power than others should follow, maybe one or two.
Exactly. But you see, you got to put in power, because if you are putting in power, you see, power is the base for industrial revolution, or core, which means if you are prioritizing your processes and say, we go first power, we are going into power, that does not mean that you are not going to give cognizance to agriculture. That does not mean that you are not going to give cognizance to education. But the type of education you will give cognizance to must be based on your economic development strategy process. You cannot train out a sociology to become an engine driver. It is not possible. So you got to plan your economy to show what you really want to achieve. As soon as you get the bottom line of what you want to achieve, that is what the educational system should do. See it now. But if you have an industrial program here, most of those graduated students may not be able to work directly into those factories because they don't have that skill. So they need to be trained again for the skill. You see, so you have to begin to put one and one together. That is why the economy is not going to just boom all of a sudden, because this is coming on a foundational ground now.
Right, but the present administration is talking about change.
Yes.
But they are not thinking out of the box. Don't you think the economic team of the president should be such that should be able to think out of the box, articulate these issues, and show that the country moves forward?
No, I think the president is thinking out of the box.
Right.
For example, the railway system, returning the economy.
Right.
The railway is very important. It's going to be able to absorb about 250,000 people in work. The same thing they should do. The P&T, that is the post office, right, should also be reduced, and somebody who can manage it should go and start managing it. They can have another 300, 400, 500,000 people at work right there. So he is thinking out of the box. But you see, he cannot move so quickly like that. Because if he does move so quickly like that, because people are not giving him the support anyways. If you watch it, because there's too much corruption in the system. Too much corruption. So for you to wear down that corruption, you must be very, very, very careful and then begin to employ. Because if you don't do that, you are not going to be able to do what? You are not going to be able to reach where you want to reach to. One important thing I'm suggesting for all the ministries, they must, each and every one of the ministries must have what I call one-stop shop.
Right.
Good. This is where, because you see now we want foreign exchange, we want foreign direct investment, we lack money. So we need people to come and begin to work with us. For example, the agricultural ministry may go ahead and secure investors from anywhere. But instead of securing investors and allowing them just to come to the system and roam about here, they will formulate a one-stop shop in the Ministry of Agriculture, where all their registrations and paper registration and everything will be taken care of, so that they don't go into all this cumbersome system which the system has been given before, so that at the end of the year they should be able to report what they have achieved, whether they have achieved for sustainable foreign investors coming into the country and doing what they're supposed to do,
right,
or not. The public will know. You guys will go around to find that out as well. For example, if you get to Ministry of Transportation and Aviation right there, you know aviation takes a lot of foreign currency. Why is Nigeria not establishing a maintenance dump in Nigeria? Why are they not establishing that? Because
is it capital intensive?
Even if it's capital intensive, you can have some certain people that can come and help you and do that. Why are they not establishing that? Because you see, that's what I'm trying to tell you, step-by-step analysis of the whole thing. If you are going into, you must plan your stuff strategically, so that when you go into programs like that, transportation, I know foreign currency goes with, when you want to go and service the aircraft and etc., you calculate the amount of foreign exchange you have to dish out. You establish a servicing company here and still use those servicing companies that you have abroad that does it. For example, Boeing, when Boeing designs an aircraft, he does not build the aircraft by himself alone. He has contractors. Why can't they have contractors that will come in here and do the same thing at a cheaper rate? and even open a training school for our people to begin to learn on how to service aircraft, and then pull down the foreign exchange cost that may be behold on the economy. So that is why I think we have to first of all strategically plan the economy, which I think the president is going towards. That is one. We got to think about power, because every other thing hinges on that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Lee Monroe is really a true friend of Nigeria, having been visiting Nigeria since the 70s. He is the Vice President, Institutional Advancement and Development, Jarvis Christian College, Hawkins, Texas. Yes, what do you think you can do, share experiences with Nigeria to see educationally, developmentally, and otherwise, so that you see both countries more
one of the things that I come representing Jarvis Christian College, and I think what we can do, Jarvis Christian College, is can reach out to train young people in areas that would help with the economy and the development of this great nation. And so we can do that educationally. Now, Jarvis also is an institution that has oil on it, upland oil. What we can do is train individuals in petroleum management. Jarvis has also sit on the largest, fifth largest aquifer of water, United States. So there are areas that we can do, like bottling of water, exchange. We can bring to the table the black media for collaborations between the medias. To give you an example, I've had so many calls about the conflict on Burkina Faso. People thinking I'm there. They have no concept of really this great continent. So we can begin to inform and give them a different media than what they see on CNN and some of the other places that they see.
Like you talk about the media, what we get is always negative narratives from the Western media.
Yeah, exactly.
So for that collaboration, that can be a change. You think so?
There are about 265 black newspapers in the United States that would love to collaborate with the press here so that we can distribute stories, particularly about Nigeria, that give the people in the United States a totally different perspective on the great country that
we're talking about. Nigeria being a monolithic economy, where you're dependent on just oil. Now the prices are falling.
Yeah.
What's the best strategy for Nigeria to fast-track development?
Well, I think human capital planning is the key. And what I mean by that simply is that in a very concerted way, whatever directions that the country might want to go in, agriculture or technology, so many ways to go, that what must happen is that the universities, the technical colleges must begin to turn out people for the economists we can bring to the table, agricultural specialists who can look at things such as aqua farming, seeds, the variety of things that would maybe begin to help the economy. But from a national perspective and also a state's perspective, the economy has to be now more planned, and the capital, human capital of this country needs to be trained to fit that vision for the country.
Don't you offer scholarship to immigrants?
We offer some scholarships, yes, for those who want to go into an area that is critical to, should I say, this economy. We wouldn't offer a scholarship for someone just to come play soccer or football all the time, but it must also want to be maybe a biologist who might become a doctor or an entrepreneur who might want to do some things in technology. There's great potential here in this country for growth and development in the technology section, as well as some of the industrial sectors. Already started making cars and things of that nature. There's so much can be done.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Diaspora on the NTA. Stay right there.
NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Glad to know you're still there. Now to our Diasporan of the Week. Nigerian-born Professor Pius Adeshomi has made history in Canada as the first African director of the Institute of African Studies at the prestigious Carleton University, Canada. Joy Osiagu had a chat with him.
A day with Professor Pius Adeshomi, the new director of the Institute of African Studies at the Carleton University, Canada, will inspire any individual to make an impact in the society. His patriotic spirit for good governance in Nigeria is contagious. As a modern Nigerian columnist, Professor Adeshomi vents his frustrations regularly about leadership challenges and many maladies in contemporary politics and other topical issues, especially in the Nigerian system.
I grew up with that sense of what you would call a tendency towards social concern and a rebellion, a natural instinct to hate, reject injustice and mediocrity. Moving away from Nigeria nearly 2 decades ago and getting a sense of alternative possibilities, I guess just deepened my sense of rejection of how Nigeria is defined, because the more you live in places like this, they're not perfect. No society is perfect. But then it becomes very difficult to accept that certain little things in terms of institutions, in terms of process, in terms of procedure would work somewhere as a matter of course. And more than 50 years after independence, we can't get those things right. If an electric bulb were to die, snap off and die in this office, as we're speaking now, in the next 24 hours, there are processes and procedures that would kick in to have that replaced. And sometimes I come to my office and certain things have changed. Maintenance that I didn't even have to request. They've just been put. And then I sit down here thinking that why to be in Nigeria, for instance, so long as this office isn't in total darkness, if only one bulb snapped off and died, then okay, make we manage them. So the little things, so they get my goat, they get to me. And so my commitment, my engagement, the why I write with so much passion and so much rebelliousness, so much rejection, is the fact that Nigeria has come to be defined and accepted in a certain way by a generality of the leadership and even the people they lead. And some of us at home and abroad must at least be in the position to keep sending out that message that we will not accept the finality of their argument in favor of mediocrity, of their argument in favor of corruption, of their argument in favor of dysfunction.
His satirical commentaries are a must-read. Professor Adesomi's assignment at the Institute revolves around research and community outreach on African affairs. The standalone Institute of African Studies in any Canadian university brings together a wide range of skills in African history, societies, and legal systems.
And this is a very interesting time to have that sort of thing. You know, Africa is said to be the most exciting continent. You know, a lot of things are happening. It's the youngest continent in terms of human potential, innovation, the direction of humanity. Things are happening. The youth bulge. So this is a very, very good time to have a space like this, which brings together the very best of expertise that Canada has to offer, and even Africa has to offer. And we're here doing that work.
Our email remains diaspora@yahoo.com, or text only to +234 8033114000. That's it for this week. Bye.